What's up? Today we're going to be learning how to clean your bearings the proper way. Some things you're going to want to have before you start are paint thinner. Be careful, this stuff is really it can stain your clothes and it smells and it's just, yeah. Some kind of container. This is just like one of those soup things you get from the Chinese place, Chinese takeout, just one of those. But like a Gatorade bottle or something, just make sure you clean it out good. A tool, a blade, one of those, and some kind of lube. You can use speed cream or any of that, but I don't have that, so I'm just going to use this. It works fine. And then your bearings, of course. So yeah, the first step, you're going to just take off your bearings, and I'll do that right now, and then I'll show you guys the next step. Your next step is going to, the next step is going to pour the paint thinner into the, in here, and I've also taken off my bearings off my wheels and have them laid out on a towel. That's also something you'll need. So yeah, you're going to want to pour this into here, and I'll do that right now. Alright, so I've poured it in here, and you don't really need it much, probably only about an inch and a half, because you don't want to, use up the entire bottle of this, because it's kind of expensive, and these really aren't that thick, so you don't want to waste that much, because this stuff is toxic. It's not eco-friendly or anything, so yeah, don't use too much of it. And then your next step is going to be to take off these little rubber parts that keep the bearings evenly spaced in the bearing. And if your bearing has caps on, like Bones Reds do, then you're going to need to pop those off. I only have two that have that, but the rest are Ninjas, and they have a metal edge, so I'll need to pop the caps off of these, and also take off the little rubber spacer. You need to take that off because this paint thinner can destroy that, and that's never good. So yeah, I'll do that, and then show you guys the next step. What you're going to want to do is, after you've poured that in there, you only need about an inch or so, because you don't want to waste any of it. So, yeah, because your bearings are only that thick, and it's not very eco-friendly, this stuff. So, you wouldn't want to be wasting any. The next step is to take your blade and, pop the caps off of here, if you have caps. Only two of mine do, because these are Indy bearings, and then these are just Ninja bearings. And once you've popped the caps off, or if you don't need to, there's this little rubber spacer thing that keeps the balls evenly spaced in the bearing. So you're going to also use your blade to pry that out. Alright, I've taken off all the rubber, anything rubber on my bearings, like the little spacer and the caps, and then I've dropped them in there. And also, once you take these spacers out of your bearings are very, fragile. If you mess around with them too much without these on, then they could literally just break in your hand. And, so yeah, just be careful with them, because you don't want broken bearings, because then you'll have to go out and buy more, and then you won't need to be able to clean your bearings. So, once you put them in here, you can use some kind of, stick. This is just a paintbrush to, individually move them around a little bit. Be careful, because, if you hit these around too hard, they could break, because it doesn't have that thing in them. So, yeah. Just, make sure whatever container you're using has a lid, so that you can then, after you put it on, just kind of, shake it around a little bit. And remember, not too hard, because they're vulnerable. Vulnerable. Sorry. So, yeah, and then after you do that a little bit, just, leave them in there for about 15 minutes, and then I'll show you, after I do that, I can, show you guys the next step. Okay, now I've let them sit in for about 15 to 20 minutes, Or if they're like really bad, you can also put them in for about 30 minutes. I mean, I've done that before and it works. It's fine. But like you don't want to leave them in there for too long, you know? Like you don't want to leave it in there for like 4 days. 'Cause you know, it'll stink up whatever room you're doing it in. So, once you've let them sit a little bit, you can shake it around a little bit more. And then also with your stick or whatever you're using, individually like spin them around, spin them each around. Like get them on the edge and stuff. But I already did that before I started filming. So, yeah. So then you're just go and take them out one by one and set them on some kind of dirty rag or old t-shirt or, you know, something like that. And then I'll do that, and then I'll show you the next step. Now that you've taken out your bearings and you have spun them around a little bit, what you can do, and also dry them off a little, you're going to take your lube and put some on the bearings. If you have speed cream, then really like hose them down, because you want to get a lot, but with this, just one tiny dot goes a long way. So if you're using the kind from a can, don't use too much, because a lot will go a long way. And once you put them in a little bit, give them a little spin, get it all in there, and yeah, and then I'll go from there. Alright, now I have lubed them, and they all ride really smooth. And if there's any that still feel like chunky, like there's something in there, just put them in the water, shake it around a little bit, or not water, but paint thinner. Shake them around a little bit, and then put some more lube on it, give it a few spins, and it should be good. And also, make sure you have no more excess lube or paint thinner on your bearings, because you don't want that like riding around, and then because like dirt can stick to that, and then you know it'll just make your bearings bad again. And also, you cannot forget the lube step, because if you do forget, your bearings will be good for like a day, like, you know, maybe even just one session, but then they'll just go back to straight how they were, because this lube like keeps them fresh and keeps them tidy, I guess I could say, like, because this paint thinner, it cleans it out really well, but it also dries it out. The lube will like give it some more moisture, so it can ride smooth for a while. And then your next step is to put these caps and rubber spacing things in back on, and then you can put them back in the wheel, put them on your deck, and you're good to go. They should last, after you clean them, about a month and a half or 2. And so then you can just go and clean them again. Thanks for watching. This has been how to clean your bearings the good way.